I'd like to start off by saying a couple more reasons why tobacco ban would not be a good idea. Because in the end, after the ban is passed, it would not make much of a difference on the health problems caused by tobacco. And then 2, tobacco is already a dying industry, and 3, tobacco has become, and 3, children would still end up dying anyway. In the end, the same number of people will die from tobacco. The $90 billion health care bill will still be there, and so will the $90 billion loss in productivity. We must learn from the mistake of prohibition that a sudden sweep of illegalization on something that was already legal will not work. And sure, tobacco is hard to manufacture, but the U.S. will probably not partake in, much of it. But the American people are not stupid, and they know that they share a border with countries that have massive quantities of whatever tobacco they need, legally. They won't make their own, they'll just go to places that already have it, and they'll smuggle it in. Cigarettes will still be ready for anyone who wants them, albeit at a much higher price. The poor will get poorer. Another fact is that cigarette companies are already a dying breed. They know the business is going down, and they're expanding horizons to search for other investments. For example, most of you don't know this, but tobacco giant Philip Morris owns the second largest food and beverage company, Kraft Foods, along with Nabisco Foods and General Foods. Any Oreos you eat? Any of those little elf cookies you eat? Capri Sun? Ritz crackers? Those are all owned by a tobacco company, which is now moving somewhere else. Tobacco companies know that their product has increasingly less demand, especially in the U.S., where tobacco usage is less than half of what it was in 1997. While the number of people who smoke has dropped from 42% to 20% from 1965 to 2006. It doesn't stop there. The federal tax has been increased from 39 cents a pack to $1 a pack. And this does not include state taxes, which are usually around $1.50. On top of that, individual cities have their own state taxes. So there's the federal tax, and there's a state tax, and on top of that, there's a city tax, which in some cases, like New York City, is as high as $1.50. In September of this same year, the federal tax will again be increased, this time to $2. Money talks louder than any law, and will keep keeping tobacco legal while at the same time increasing the taxes on tobacco consumers will make them change their habits without having, like Zach said, a totalitarian regime. Will likewise convince other industries, other tobacco companies, to change what they're doing and go somewhere else. There is no need for a nationwide tobacco ban because smoking is a personal freedom for those who partake in it know the consequences of their actions. I'd also like to note that currently there is an electric cigarette out on the market, and much like the filter was when the filter was introduced, it should only be a matter of time before this becomes standard and second-hand smoke is no longer a problem. On the other hand, if we ban smoking, people will decide not to smoke outside of their homes, but inside of their homes, thereby making their children more vulnerable to the diseases which the affirmative has mentioned. I would also like to note that perhaps the affirmative is making a big deal out of nothing. For example, Greece is the world's biggest smoker. The average adult in Greece smokes 4,300 cigarettes a year. And they are number 19 on the list of life expectancy countries, while the United States is 38. They live about 6 years longer smoking and getting drunk. So